Welcome back to another episode of the Beers of War podcast. Granted, it's only been 3 weeks since the last time we've been here. Tonight, I'm here with Beer Ninja. Unfortunately, Sir Bigness can't make it tonight due to some other issues, dealing with some Texas heat down there. And as your host from the command center, I am Matilda82. Tim, fire away.
Hey guys, I just wanted to talk about some random stuff and everything. We'll probably dive in a little bit to the some of the gaming industry because that's what we do and whatnot. But Matilda is right. We are down a member right now. Texas heat has just been kicking our asses out here right now, and I'm actually from Arizona myself. So I'm used to triple-digit heat. Actually, I really wasn't back then, but still, it was a dry heat and everything. So, hopefully he gets that fixed, and we can get to see him again on the podcast because there's a lot of topics that are going to be coming up here. We're not done with 2023 yet, so we still got a lot of things we want to talk about and work on. So, like lately, right now, I've been staying at home. I haven't been really doing much of anything except unless I have to grocery shop, occasionally do stuff like that. But when I'm at home and I'm not working all the time, I've been kicking back playing, some games to just kind of kill the time and everything. It's what I always do, and I still go out and game hunt and everything. I got my own channel. It's the Beer Ninja channel. Check it out. Hopefully we can try to see if we can get it. I don't know. I've been doing that, but I haven't really been videoing my finds or anything like that because it's just so hot to try to manage that and then deal with people and everything right now. But I just kick back. I've been playing the PlayStation. I've been playing some games called one of them is called Remnant 2, which was actually introduced to me by one of another Beers of War member. Goes by Six Gun Phoenix, aka Shay Lowry. And I've been playing with Ron and of course Sir Bigness and everything. So we've been having fun doing that. I'm on the Xbox Series X. I kind of went back to one of my comfort zones of survival games. I got back into Conan Exiles for a little bit, so I've been playing that and just kind of building on that. I still think it's a great game. What really sucks about playing games like that is like you get your friends involved in everything and you want to play them, but then either they start to lose interest or something else comes out or something else happens, and then you rented this server, right? And then you end up losing everything you end up building upon. Now, I think the only game we've ever been able to really get away with has been like Ark, So now I'm hearing the new Ark, or it's still the same Ark, but it's going to be like revamped or something like that, and we won't be able to carry over our stuff and whatnot. And I've put serious hours in that game. I don't know about you. But,
yeah, they're supposed to be running, bringing out the updated to Unreal Engine 5. They're going to remaster. They're going to remaster it on the new engine, but on the downside is you have to basically buy a brand new game, even though the new Ark 2 is supposed to come out sometime next year.
Yeah, and I just don't know how I feel about that. And chances are they're probably going to sell it for a full price too, probably do that 70 mark or something like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand when you have a business, you got to make, money and stuff like that. But I think personally, it's based through the fans, because if you do right by them, that money's going to come in. That money will come in and everything. And like there's games out there they're remastering, selling them for full length prices right now. I know we keep bringing it up, but The Last of Us. I mean, how many remasters have they had out of that one? 2, I think, 2 or 3. So yeah, PlayStation 5 already has one and everything, and they were selling that at the full price. So me personally, I've developed the habit of when it comes to being a gamer. Patience, which you don't always associate that word with gamers sometimes, depending on what you're playing. And I'll wait for the better deals to come out, sales and whatnot. Christmas is usually right around, it's right around the corner and everything. And they're going to have like a lot of good sales on some of the new games that came out, so I'm kind of looking forward to getting, some of those deals and whatnot, because I still want to build upon the collection and whatnot. So I'm still doing that. I've been on this big retro kick of collecting games, man. I think I'm like up to 37, 38. If you ever heard of the Sega Game Gear handheld, something I kind of grew up with a little bit. I mean, it didn't last long, but I think it was ahead of its time. But I'm trying to collect the entire loose cartridge North American collection for it and everything. So I don't even think I'm like a fourth there yet. But I specifically bought this drawer that houses the cartridges. It looks pretty badass right now. So that's been my kind of kick, just finding these retro games and stuff like that. And I want to go out to these yard sales. I find lately that going out on Thursdays, of all days, you wouldn't even think a Thursday is a yard sale. I've been finding some pretty decent stuff lately. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
speaking of, we were just talking about ARC. I was just looking through Game Pass the other day, and they actually have almost all of the season passes available for like Genesis and even the Ultimate Explorer pack for ARC on Game Pass now. So there's a lot more downloads you can get some more stuff to add it to it.
You know, if we still stick with the first one or even get the second one, I just hope that the servers are a lot better than what they were. I don't know what it is, maybe it's my location or something like that. Because sometimes when I be playing the game with you guys and everything, we're in the server. I build these huge buildings and very articulate designs and whatnot. And sometimes I find I always have the curse. There's something that's cursed in this game, and it's elevators in that game. On a good day, it'll let me go up and come down. But if I get on an elevator and every time it goes up, it always sinks me into the elevator. Any map we have ever played together, Brandon, it has done that to me. I've submitted tickets, I've reached out and everything, and it's like, surely this cannot be the only company providing it. I guess they are. So I don't know. Hopefully they'll fix that up and they'll get that taken care of. I mean, I'm all fine for the graphics enhancements and everything. That's fine by me, but I'm enjoying the way it is right now. Of course, I haven't played it in a while, so I just kind of backed off on it. But yeah,
I haven't really been gaming much lately. Been watching TV, but busy with work and family stuff, and we're getting into the real busy part of my fall marching band with my son. So that's picking up, and I spend a lot more of my time there than I have. So I come home, I'll just stream something or watch something and go to bed. I've been streaming. Started with Dragon Ball Z Kai. Started that one. Just finished the fight with Frieza. So I'm about halfway through that first season, and then the big thing is I'm waiting on. It's Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Ahsoka.
Yes, absolutely. Look forward to it. Yeah, they bumped that thing up. There was a matter of fact, I was scrolling through YouTube and everything before we got on the podcast and everything, and there was somebody already had a video out saying he's seen Ahsoka and here are my thoughts, and I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna skip that. I don't want to hear nothing about it. I don't want to hear any reviews. If I even see it on my phone through Facebook or whatever, I'm just flipping it up because I want to be entertained and I want to generate my own feelings about it. And I don't want to have that stuff in the back of my head where other people said, and you're thinking, oh, okay, maybe that's what they were talking about. I want to make my own judgments on it and everything. And I think Rosario, she's going to kill it. We obviously I got my little crush on her. So
I think,
but she's going to do great. She's going to do great. I think she's going to be awesome in it.
I think if the rumors are holding true, this is basically a live action season 5 of Star Wars Rebels and carry on with a lot of that storyline. I mean, you've got a lot of the same characters. You've got the same villain that was in the last part of Rebels that's going to be making his return. If they carry it on and stay pretty close to how that storyline went, even like Dave Filoni's in there, is behind all this, I think it's going to be a pretty good series. I mean, we've seen Mandalorian's been pretty good. I'm halfway through Andor now. Started watching that yesterday.
Best of luck. I tried. I mean, I finished it. But...
I enjoy it because I like the more of the spy thriller movies and stuff. I like those, even the ones that are slow and drag out. I do like those. So I'm intrigued with it and how that's going. So
yeah,
I've watched a couple episodes of Kenobi. I haven't finished that yet. I need to get back into finishing that. So
I think you do. Yeah, you're doing yourself a disservice by not watching that because I enjoyed that series. I really did. Andor, I guess I just wasn't prepared for it because I had a different mindset of what it was going to be and everything. So maybe if I watched it through a second time around, I could probably get into it like how Bigness is into it and everything. But yeah, as far as Ahsoka comes, it's a lot of people are saying that's the buzz. Rebels season 5, let it be. So if that's the case, I'm all for it. I really enjoyed Rebels. I think it's a very underrated, underappreciated series that nobody took serious because I guess maybe because they didn't like the, how they filmed it or graphics and everything. Not everybody's into that CGI cartoonish look or whatnot, which I was fine. I mean, as long as the story's good and everything, I didn't care.
I thought the story on Rebels was actually pretty good.
It was amazing. It was an amazing story. It's just nobody was always talking about it, is what I'm getting at. It's like the only people I know is some people that are close to me or that I work with that know about it, and they love it. I loved it. As a matter of fact, I was encouraged to watch it from one of my coworkers and everything. And I haven't regretted it. I really look forward to watching it and see how these characters have grown, because obviously there's a gap there once we get back into the story and everything and see where it goes from there. And I mean, this could actually take off. You know what I mean? Like it can have a lot more seasons and everything. Almost
I hope it does. I mean, this is kind of, and I also kind of heard too that they also said this is more along the lines of if Favreau and Filoni had done the last 3 movies, this was more along the line. They would have followed more along the lines of the Heir to the Empire storyline, which was the Grand Admiral Thrawn making his appearance in the Star Wars universe. So
yeah,
that's where they kind of wanting to go with this. So I'm all for it. I mean, I've been hoping for a Heir to the Empire spinoff type thing, so we'll see.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be good. Hopefully, we get to see some other cameos with other Star Wars characters and whatnot in there. So yeah, I'm gonna make a special time for it. I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna be great. I mean, I want to be in a more positive mindset for it and everything. You know what I mean? And I've already started seeing some interviews and like behind the scenes of how it's going and how people feel about it, whatnot, as far as like when filming it and whatnot. George Lucas was there on set, obviously, kind of seeing where that goes, because pretty much I think Filoni was the one who actually created the Ahsoka character back in the Clone Wars and everything. So the biggest thing that I want to see, well, one of the biggest things I want to see in this series, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the prequels of the Star Wars and everything. But when you watch the Clone Wars series and you watch the prequels and compare the 2 Anakin Skywalkers, they almost come off as 2 different people to me. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean, if you've seen the Clone Wars series, Anakin Skywalker, he's very heroic and, he's very confident, and now he's got a Padawan and he's, teaching her all these things and whatnot. And I get that Ahsoka was created after the prequels came out and everything, but I hope that the series, because they are bringing Hayden Christensen back, as I believe a Force ghost for Ahsoka and whatnot. And so I'm thinking maybe we can kind of see this kind of relationship build on live action, and I can kind of see how it can bridge that together. And it would give me a peace of mind if it would do that. Other than that, I am looking forward to it. I had the privilege of being at Comic-Con and getting a picture with Rosario Dawson and Hayden Christensen, which both were just awesome people. So I'm looking forward to seeing them on the big screen together. Well, I say big screen, but on Disney Plus and everything. So not sponsored by them, by the way.
Yeah, I hope it ends up. My biggest fear right now, and I've been thinking about this last couple of days, I've been so excited for this new series before I watched Rebels, I was like, oh, cool, another series, do something to watch. I watched Rebels, really liked the storyline. Then I started finding out that a lot of the characters from Rebels was going to be in this series. And then it came out that it was basically another added on season 5 of Star Wars Rebels. I'm just hope I'm not overhyping myself and then it ends up being a letdown.
That's it. Exactly. I mean, you're saying the words right there, man. You just don't want to overhype yourself, but you want to be careful with doing that too. And you also want to take a grain of salt when you're listening to other people's thought process and ideas. Some of the things that annoy the hell out of me when it comes to TV series or movies or something like that, people always try to predict what's going to happen next. And when you do that, sometimes they're right. A lot of times they're just flat out wrong and everything. There's been movies that I've watched where people have just bashed it and everything, but I thought I found some common ground with it, or I had some kind of I enjoyed watching it. That's just it. I mean, as human beings, we're going to have different feelings and different opinions when it comes to certain things. that's why, like I said, kind of going back from earlier, I'm going to go in here with an open mind, a positive mind about it and everything, and just have fun watching it. And when I, when Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett came out, I mean, it was kind of a letdown for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was entertaining to watch and everything, but I think I just expected so much that I thought maybe I knew what was going to happen, and that's what kind of ruined it for me in a way. I didn't take in consideration that they're trying to move this character to a different level, to bring him out, to flesh him out more. I wasn't expecting this whole, whatever governor of a city kind of thing, role. I was expecting, some bounty hunting stuff, maybe some anti-hero stuff, which I still think would be cool, by the way. But I just put myself in the wrong mindset and overhyped it because I was already on that wagon with the Mandalorian and everything. So I'm definitely going to come with it with a different frame of mind when it comes to Ahsoka. I'm just going to enjoy it. I think I will enjoy it. Positive. Got to be positive.
Now, speaking of series, did you end up finishing Twisted Metal?
Oh God, yes I did. I've binge watched that show 2 days in a row, man. I'm going to tell you something right now, man. I'm so glad you brought that up because not too many people I know have watched it yet or even knew that a series was out on it.
Because it's on Peacock, and not everybody has Peacock.
Yeah, they did a really good job with it. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I enjoyed Anthony Mackie as the Falcon. I just don't know if I'm going to really. I'm not sure if I'm ready for a Captain America yet because I'm still hung up on the whole Avengers thing, which I think he's probably going to kill it in the new Captain America movie. After what I saw with him in Twisted Metal, I really feel like he was more born for this role because I was just fascinated by his character in Twisted Metal. He was wit, he was smart. I mean, he's funny as hell.
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing, the whole scenario, the situation just doesn't make sense. I mean, if you ever played Twisted Metal, which I know you have, it's not just more about just getting into cars and wrecking vehicles. There's actually campaigns that are involved with it and everything, like even to a supernatural level and whatnot, which I haven't really seen much in the TV series. I'm not trying to spoil it for anybody, but Anthony Mackie just did a phenomenal job. And Sandra, oh man, I hope I didn't. I can't remember her last name, but Sandra was in there, and she was from I want to say, was it 9-1? No, it was with she was in that comedy cop TV show.
Oh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
She's pretty good in that too, but she was in this and she did a really awesome job with it too. So I saw like they had really good chemistry in my opinion. I don't know what they are like in real life or anything, but when you watch the Twisted Metal show and everything, it's like how they start developing this relationship over time and whatnot. But Anthony Mackie just killed it, and I really hope they make multiple seasons of this because I want to watch more of it, and I just kind of want to see where it goes. And the guy who plays Sweet Tooth, I can't remember who's playing it. There's two people that's playing him actually.
Yeah,
you got the actual build.
Yeah, that's the wrestler Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe, okay.
Yep.
And then of course you got Will Arnett doing the voice of it, which he was perfect for that. I mean, like everything he was saying, he's kind of my kind of humor, I mean, I like all sorts of humor and everything like that, but he had some dark stuff going on here too. But it was just funny, and there was not an episode that I was disappointed in watching. To be honest with you, I wasn't getting bored with it or anything like that. Matter of fact, I just I'm sitting over there in that chair right there, whether I'm having a beer or drinking wine or eating popcorn or just something or all of the above, and just enjoying the show. And now they've opened it up. I mean, they have to make a second season because
I'm just kind of curious how the ratings. I know Rotten Tomatoes score was pretty good on it.
Mm-hmm.
I know the fan score on Rotten Tomatoes was pretty high. The critic scores was pretty low, but that's typical for a movie or series like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way they left it at the end of season 1, left it open. That there has to be an opportunity for a season 2. And I just thought the Easter eggs and the humor in there. I mean, in the one episode, he did a cheat code to get his car to work.
Oh yeah,
he
did a cheat code.
I need to pull it up and find out if that actually is a cheat code in game.
And then they had it was already. I don't know if you really consider it as a an Easter egg or not, but it was when he got into the car and the big box PS1 game, because they used to make the big box versions
Yeah.
instead of just regular disc size, or the original Twisted Metal, excuse me. And the he just looked at it and just kind of like just looked backwards and everything. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty funny too. Like there was a lot of things. Now I'll be honest with you, I didn't play all the Twisted Metals. I don't know too much about it and everything. So that's why I think this show is actually good, because anybody who's not familiar with it or anything like that can still watch it and have a good time. I don't think you really have to be involved too much with who the characters are in order to enjoy it. It was really that good to me.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think I played it on PS1 and maybe 1 or 2 on PS2, and that was it. And I mean, that was, you're talking almost 20 years ago since those games, or even over 20 years, because the PS1 was out in the late 90s. So, Twisted Metal 1 and maybe 2 came out in the late 90s.
Yeah, they had a PS3 game that came out, but I don't think it did too well, actually. I want to say it was either 2011, 12, somewhere around that time frame, I think was the last one that came out. But you haven't really heard since. So I'm thinking, when people watch this, which a lot of people have started watching it, I bet they're going to kind of get back into the series, and this may actually help jump bringing out another game and whatnot. I mean, I'd be fine if they came out with a game based off of the TV series.
So here we go. The original Twisted Metal came out in November 5th, 1995.
Mm-hmm.
Twisted Metal 2, October 31st, 1996. Twisted Metal 3 was 98. Twisted Metal 4 was in 99. So, yeah, looks like the last game, they made one. It looks like they redid one in 2012, February 14th, 2012.
Yeah, it was probably the PS3 one.
But before that, I mean, 2005 was the last one they made. Yeah, they did a PS3 version, remake of it.
2005?
2012 was the PS3 remake. 2005 was Twisted Metal Head On. And then before that, they did Twisted Metal in 2001, Twisted Metal Small Brawl, and Twisted Metal Black was in 2001.
So they must have re-released the Twisted Metal Head On, because I got a copy right here of the PS2 Twisted Metal Head On, but this one's called the Extra Twisted Edition. Saying here it came out like in I want to say 2008. I haven't played it yet, but I was always looking forward to it. It's got Sweet Tooth on it.
Yeah, unless they just did one of those re-release things.
Maybe that's what they did. That's what they did. I kind of want to get back. I want to add it to the collection and everything. I want to get the Twisted Metals, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, after watching the show, prices are starting to go up, obviously, on eBay and all the other channels and whatnot. So I got to make money first in order to make
I ended up watching it with my son last weekend, and he was a little hesitant because he has no idea what it was about or anything like that. And by the end of the first episode, we were just laughing so hard, and we just kept binging it. And even my wife was sitting there on the couch, and she was kind of half paying attention to it and getting into it as well. So she was tracking on it. So it turned up to be a fun weekend for basically the three of us to sit back and watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good story just watching and everything. And I think a lot of the people that they got involved with the project, a lot of the actors they did a phenomenal job. And I'm just not being good with names today. I'm trying to remember the cop, the sheriff that was in there. I know him as the Sandman from Spider-Man. I also knew him from some other TV shows and whatnot. But you know who exactly?
He played Lowell from the TV show Wings.
Wings, yes, that's where I first saw him and everything. And I can't, for the life of me, don't understand why I can't remember his name. And if what, look that up, because I think he should get some kudos for it too, because he did it such an what was it? Hayden Church. I think it was Church. Yeah.
Yeah, Thomas Hayden Church, I think.
Thomas Hayden Church, yeah. See, so halfway there. So yeah, Thomas Hayden Church. I really enjoyed watching his character in there too and everything. He killed it with that too. And I don't know. I seriously doubt we'll be seeing him. I don't know. Maybe not. You never know. They're bringing in a lot of characters now that we've seen in the video games before. So I'm really interested in seeing what season 2 is going to bring. I hope, fingers crossed. They haven't confirmed a season 2 just yet, but fingers crossed they're going to come out with one.
Let's do a quick Google search, see if there's anything new on that one.
The old Google, yeah. So Twisted Metal, yeah, that's definitely been one of my entertainments for
Everything might
2020.
the problem is everything might be on hold because of the whole writer strike, so they may have not have confirmed it because they don't know when it's going to be able to get produced.
Is that still going on? Huh.
Unfortunately, they're about 115 days in, and a lot of people said it, especially with the actor strike too that's going on as well. They said that one's going to be the tough one, the break, because of the whole AI stuff they want to do. So
there's really not a whole lot of creativity behind. I don't know, man. I haven't really given this AI stuff a chance or anything. I don't know if I'm really ready for that. You know, I mean, I know we've been complaining enough as it is with Hollywood because they're not coming up with any original material. They keep pushing out all these remakes and whatnot. You know, and you can go through your feed on YouTube or whatnot and Facebook, and they already have these AI apps. You know, think of this person and generate it, and this is what it'll come out to. You know, so.
Yeah, the big issue right now is the people. From what I understand, with the actors' strike, is people who are like extras in movies. They basically are the studios. If they go in and do a scene or whatever, then the studios can use them and AI them in backgrounds, and not have to pay them. And then this with the writer's strike, the issue is the streaming services. They feel like they're not getting their proper royalties and pay because, like, if they do a TV series, it becomes popular, then it goes to Netflix, and then it's still popular on Netflix. They're not getting they don't get a cut. So that's what they're trying to work out, is how much they increase their cut on the streaming service side.
Kind of piggyback off that. That may be one of the reasons why that, you know, you sent that article, and maybe Netflix, now they're getting into the gaming, you know, streaming.
Possibly. I
mean, that's another way to make money, of course, you know, so that'd be a good way of doing it.
How many times, as Kevin said it, the Xbox wants to get away from the actual physical consoles and just go to getting either putting their system in a TV or streaming everything. You just get an app and a controller.
Yeah, I mean, they could probably do it all through a controller or whatnot, you know. And now that, you know, Netflix, like, I don't know how that's going to go because, honestly, the whole Stadia thing really put a damper on things. You know what I mean? Because they relied on internet connection and connectivity and things like that, you know. And obviously, Netflix is going to rely on that. You know, in order for that kind of gaming industry to take off, internet has to be in a position to where it's going to work all around the world at a very good consistency speed. You know, I mean, 5G where I live right now, 5G ultra wide is supposed to be fast. 5G is slow here. You know, that ain't right. But Netflix is, yeah, definitely getting into the gaming field. There'll probably be a lot of you know, developers and IPs and all that wanting to go after it, you know, because it's Netflix. You know, and if they can play that off, if they can pull something like that off and everything, it might be something interesting to get into.
Yeah, was it Stadia? Is that what you said it was?
Yes.
That might make some people gun shy about the whole streaming gaming aspect.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But, you know,
but did they have top-notch or AAA titles on that, or was it more mid-tier, more indie stuff?
Well, the article that I read was just more about them getting into it. So I don't know about any AAA titles or anything like that at all, which to me, if you ask me, doing that, if they're going to do any kind of AAA titles, they need to do the ones that's been polished and fixed up and ready to go at that point. I would not bank on new releases for Netflix right now because, you know, as well as I do, AAA games, they're not as good as they used to be, right? You know, producing half-ass games and whatnot.
I'm looking it up, so I'm not, since it's been shut down.
Yeah.
Oh, list of Stadia games.
I think the only reason why I would collect the Stadia is because of the controller, because I think they're no longer around anymore. That'd be kind of a good thing to have for collectors. There's people out on YouTube and whatnot they're doing that and
You could
collecting
play
them.
City Skylines. That's That's a game on Xbox Game Pass. It's like the updated version. Doom 64, Dirt 5. Yeah, they had some actual F1 2020. They had some pretty good some games in there. Five Nights at Freddy, which is a game popular with all the kids.
I think I think a lot of
Yeah,
gaming
because
industries are trying to
there's
bring
Tom
back the retro.
Clancy's Division. Yeah, here's some Tom Clancy's Division and stuff like that. So yeah, they've had some AAA titles. I just understand why it didn't work. Or everybody was
Well,
like, "Why would it?"
mainly it was based off the whole connectivity thing, because not everybody was going to be able to take advantage of it. The concept was great. It was a really good idea and everything. And this was going to I think they were banking on this moving people into the digital world and everything. But it didn't work out that well because not everybody could take advantage of it. It depends on where you live and where the you know, where the internet's going to work best. In a lot of places you're going to find for that to work best is in the bigger cities. Like I live in Texas, Dallas would be a big one. Austin would be a big one. Houston would be a big one. Not really spreading out to the smaller towns and everything. That could probably put a damper on things. And it also depends on who your internet service is with too.
Right. This is what I pulled up. I googled why did Stadia fail. This is from esports.gg.
Yeah.
The service was underwhelming at launch, didn't have many good games to offer, and many players experienced issues like input lag and connectivity problems. Ultimately, they
Yep.
failed to justify the exorbitant subscription price for an untested product, and the hype quickly turned into indifference.
So
So
they didn't have a
basically,
great library to begin with, and it was internet issues. Yeah.
and you got to have a good library because we've talked about this before, but the whole battle between Xbox and PlayStation. You've got people who go, like you and Kevin have both. I mean, for the longest time, we were only strictly Xbox. I've been contemplating when we finally upgrade consoles, getting a PlayStation 5 as well as an Xbox Series X. So we have one of each. It just didn't seem like everybody probably looked at it and says, okay, I got these games on my Xbox. Why do I need to go spend whatever it is and buy a subscription on other equipment to go play a game that I already have? So I think they were trying to tap into the market of people who don't have consoles, but at the same time, the people who don't have consoles typically are not gaming enough to really invest in something like that.
It's either that or they're PC players.
Right. So. Exactly. I know my uncle bought him Asus, one of the handheld systems, and got fully upgraded. It's basically the next step up for over the Steam Deck, and he says he loves it. So
yeah, I mean, you got those casual gamers too. Not everybody's going to buy into something like Stadia or get the latest and greatest consoles, the high class PC. Some people are just casual gamers and whatnot. And I'm starting to see a lot of these handheld things that came out. As a matter of fact, one of my friends just purchased one off of a very popular website now. Like he paid $20 for it, and he just loaded up a lot of emulators of retro games, like NES, Super NES, 64, that kind of thing. People are doing that now. They're getting their fix like that, and that's some are casual players, some are like hardcore players. I may even get into that myself someday because I love collecting, the retro, as you can see right there. I love collecting retro and everything. But, I don't want to keep putting wear on these things when I have hype that, I got an itch to play Contra right now, but, keep putting it in the NES or putting wear and tear on the cartridges or whatnot. I mean, I love these. I love them. I mean, I played pretty much every game that you see there on my Nintendo collection and everything. I haven't beaten them all, but, and that's been my kind of kick. And then you got people who are just, casual players and whatnot, and they'll pick up the handhelds and do that or emulators. And, maybe with Stadia, maybe that's what they were also banking on too, was the casual players. I think they were doing that because a lot of people like watching, TV and everything. Not everybody wants to play video games and whatnot. And that's fine. That's fine. I just get my kicks and jollies when I play video games. That's where I get my stories and everything from.
Yeah, I just saw an article not too long ago. One of the consoles is they could tell if you use emulators on their system, they're able to brick your system and ban your account permanently. This was Xbox. I think people were finding a way around the emulators on how to use their Xbox to use emulators.
I don't blame Xbox if they're bricking their consoles and everything, because that is going around a lot too. There's people that'll make these products, but they're selling like unlicensed or games that they shouldn't be doing in the first place. And a lot of them, what they'll do too is they'll put the game in there, but they'll rename it something different or kind of offset the name and whatnot. Just so they can I guess either not get caught or whatever the case may be. And I've seen them too. I mean, I've seen some of those emulators and whatnot. I mean, I'd rather just find the games. If I want to play the games, I'll buy them and everything. I don't mind playing emulators as long as it's a legit thing. But a lot of people are going to find ways to cheat it. They're going to find a way to cheat the system and everything, and they'll eventually get caught for it.
Yeah, actually.
Matter of fact, I'm sorry. Let me say one more thing.
Okay.
There was another console that came out that was trying to make it big for a well-known, I guess he's well-known, or at the time, Soldier Boy. He tried to come out with his own console, and I want to say he had unlicensed games on there as well. Needless to say, it didn't work out well, and I think a lot of people ended up losing money for him doing something like that. He got some cheap knockoff that looked like an Xbox One X, if you remember what that looks like and everything, and it just didn't pan out real well for him. Just people trying to get into that market, and they try to put their name or their credibility on it just to try to sell it. Gamers are going to know.
Yeah.
Ain't stupid.
What was I getting ready to say now? We were talking about emulators. Now, see, you made me lose my train of thought.
Sorry, man. I just had to get that last part out. It'll come back to you.
Nope, I remember it now. Speaking of emulators, Xbox just came out with an actual game full of emulators on it. And it's like you pay I think it's like an $80 game and it had like 1,500 games on it.
Okay.
So I was looking at it because I know some of the games, older games, like my wife and kids like to play Bubble Bobble, and they took it off the Xbox 360 or Xbox One. You can't play it anymore. And luckily, when they were down at Kevin has the big joystick emulator thing you plug into the TV, and it was on there, so they played that quite a bit while we were on vacation back in March. We were looking on there. I didn't see it. My wife says she thought she saw it. So, but yeah, they actually have it now, and I think it has like 1,500 games on it. So,
yeah, I've seen it. That thing's pretty cool, actually. Oh, where'd it go? Speaking of Xbox, I've been kind of itching to talk about this topic here because I wrote notes and stuff, and I don't ever really do that for our podcast or anything like that. And to be honest with you, this isn't really notes. These are games that are coming out, that new games that Xbox has revealed and everything. And I'd like to give a shout out to a YouTuber I like watching. Matter of fact, that's where I get all my Xbox news and information from. And his name is Colt Eastwood. I mean, if you haven't watched him, man, that dude, he is really good at his job, and he's very specific, precise. I really enjoy his videos. So shout out to Colt Eastwood, because that's where a lot of this list came from here. Xbox has got a huge lineup. I mean, especially for the next couple of years, between now and I'd say as far as 2025, maybe even 2026, depending on the games. And there was he went over 23 or 24 different games. So I kind of highlighted the ones that I was really looking forward to and playing and everything. Obviously, you and I and Kevin and a lot of other people we know, we got Starfield ready. We want to download it. We're ready to play that. I'm looking forward to playing it. To be honest with you, I haven't really hyped myself up enough to get into it. What's up?
Did you hear how big the download is for Starfield?
Definitely over 100 gigs, right?
I think it's up. This for Xbox 140 gigs.
Yeah, I believe it, because I mean, if you're going to visit 1,000 planets, you got to have a lot of power and space to get that to go.
And they also there was a YouTuber I saw a quick blurb on it A YouTuber said he's played for 15 hours and has not experienced one bug yet.
That's cool, man.
They're saying it's the most polished Bethesda game that they've ever released. And then I also seen too that there is a jail system like Skyrim and a house buying system like Skyrim as well. So
I mean, if they can do half the things they're saying that you can pull off in this game, that's great. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm looking forward to the customization options, especially with your ship and everything. So, I mean, that's coming out September 2023. So, I mean, all of us are going to be playing it. We're definitely going to be doing a podcast on it and everything. And I mean, guys, if anybody's listening to this, I mean, we'd really want to hear what you guys think about the upcoming Starfield, because there's a lot of hype about it, but I'm trying not to give too much hype for myself because I just don't want to get disappointed, you know. But so far it seems like it's a pretty legit thing. Like, this thing's going to be happening.
The only people who are review bombing Starfield right now is majority of PlayStation owners.
Of course, and I get that, you know, I really do. Because it's exclusive, you know. So, and who knows, maybe it'll be a year or two down the road they can get it, because they do that with PC games and stuff like that too, you know. And I get why they feel that way, and you know, it is what it is. We already know. I mean, it was a legit purchase and everything, so they can do that.
And the reason Xbox purchased Bethesda was because of Starfield itself, because PlayStation was in the works of trying to make it a PlayStation exclusive.
Oh, well.
So that's how that story evolved.
Xbox got the money, man. They got the money to do it.
And I hope, like I mentioned with Ahsoka, I'm just hoping that we're not overhyping the game and it doesn't live up to expectations.
Mm-hmm.
But from people who've supposedly have played it have not said really much negative about it.
Yeah.
And I know the biggest complaint a lot of people were griping about when they said it was 30 FPS. And I found out more about why it's 30 FPS. They said it's because the background and the surroundings is so detailed and interactive, they cannot go faster or it would just crash the system.
Mm-hmm. Especially rendering the background and everything. Yeah.
Yep. So, okay, you can carry on now.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely, man. Starfield's definitely a must. There was another game that kind of caught my attention. I don't know much about it, but it's called Stalker 2. And I remember them doing a little demo of it before, or some kind of a presentation for it. I think it's rumored to be released around December, sometime in December there. If I'm not mistaken, it's a first-person shooter kind of game. I can't remember what they compared it to, but it looked very interesting. I don't even remember what the first one was, so I'm thinking about going back and playing that. And I've noticed that some of the games that they're coming out with originally started on PC, so not all of them will have their first edition on there. Avowed, I think, is one we also talked about too, which I want to say the developers is Respawn. You know, they're going to do their take on their RPG, and that one looks pretty interesting as well. So I'm looking forward to that. I gave this one 3 checks because I've been looking forward to this since the Xbox Series X came out, and that was Hellblade, Senua's Saga. You know, the talks about this game has been very positive. Like, they're really pushing the limits for the console, like almost a realistic gameplay, a cinematic gameplay, if you will. I thought that this game was probably going to come out when Series X came out, but no, I was definitely wrong about that. But they're pushing for holiday 2024 for that to come out, so we still got a little bit of a wait. If you haven't played it, and if you got Game Pass, or if you have a chance to spare a couple of bucks, go get the first one. Very interesting story, and I encourage you to also watch the little video they made that was on the disc, to where they came about and how they got their information to create this game. It's crazy. Looking forward to it. Clockwork Revolution. That's as early as 2024 or 25. This one kind of gave me a BioShock feel to it in a way, which I think a lot of people were kind of comparing it to and whatnot. And so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that one come out and seeing where the story goes with that. Now, there are some Fable players out there too. That's getting ready to come out as well. They're shooting for holiday 2025. least that's the word. At least that's how I understood the presentation. I could be wrong about that, but there's a lot of fans who like the Fable series. I tried to play part 3, I think, and I just couldn't get into it. And I started on the first one and enjoyed it, but I never finished it. So I never really finished any of the Fable games. Did you?
I'm trying to think. I think I played got pretty far in a couple of them, but I don't know if I 100 or beat them yet or not.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to save this last 2 here for last, because this one's probably one I'm stoked the most about right now. Another one is State of Decay 3. You know, a showcase. They're expecting a showcase to be revealed, sometime in 2024. But this game, like, they've been like in, I would probably call development hell, because a lot of people have been looking for it. But don't get me wrong, the developers of this game, they really listen to their fans, their community. State of Decay 2's out, and they're still pushing content out for that game, and I'd probably say that's one of my favorite zombie games, if not my favorite out of all the other ones I play and whatnot. So State of Decay 2 is an awesome game. They keep polishing it up, but State of Decay 3, they're really trying to get this pushed. And the rumor I had heard was they're getting the Coalition to help push it through, which, if you don't know who the Coalition is, these are the guys that actually got started up. I think they were originally called Black Tusk or something like that, for Gears of War games. They brought the Gears of War franchise back, and they focus a lot on the Gears of War series games. So yeah, I'm looking forward to State of Decay 3. I've had such a good time playing with friends and everything on it. I mean, if you haven't played it, I recommend you checking out State of Decay 2. You can get right into it. They got a campaign, and they got a Survivor series that you play with it. Multiple maps. Another one that I saw was Outer Worlds 2. I played the first one, and honestly, this one kind of took me for a surprise. When I played the first one, I didn't know what to think about it. I kind of liked the graphics of it, how it played out and whatnot. And I've only played it once, but I really enjoyed that story. And now they're expanding upon that world, and they're going to make it even bigger. So, I mean, it's unknown when the release date's going to come out for it. But if you haven't played the first one, you should check it out. It's pretty good. I think Ron even played it. He enjoyed it. You ever played any of the Doom games?
Doom?
Yeah, Doom.
Maybe the original back on PC years ago.
Yeah. Well, Doom made its comeback quite a few years ago on the consoles and everything, and I got it for the Xbox One and whatnot. I think they even started off a Xbox 360, but when they started bringing it back, it was just phenomenal. Like, amazing graphics, awesome soundtrack. And they've actually taken off. And so they got another game for Doom coming out called Resurgence. I don't know any information of release date on it or anything like that, but I'm really looking forward to seeing more of that, because I played both of them. I've beaten both of them, the new ones that came out. So, if you just like killing demons, there you go. Just go for it. And then, of course, we're all waiting for Elder Scrolls 6 to come out. I mean, they're saying 2026 through 2028. For that game. And Skyrim's been out for how long already? Over 10 years now?
Yeah.
I think it's been out for over 10. Yeah. So there won't be any kind of, like, I think they haven't even started full production. They won't start full production until 2024. I mean, they already started on everything, but when they're going to go full throttle, that's going to take place after the new year, I think.
November 11th, 2011.
Huh?
November 11th, 2011 is when Skyrim dropped.
There you go, man. There you go. I mean, and I still enjoy playing Skyrim too. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a beautiful game. It's a great game. And I like doing the mods too. I'll even go back and play it vanilla, So the other games that are coming out, I kind of put these two together. There was rumors at first when this was happening about a year ago, and some people swear by it. Some people said it's not going to happen or whatnot. I was hoping for it to happen. They're going to be coming out with a Gears of War, like, I think they call it like the Marcus Phoenix collection or the definitive collection, which is probably going to consist of the trilogy of Gears of War. And that's kind of like giving it what they call a Master Chief, setting, a Master Chief work done on it. So I'm going to pick that up regardless, because I'm a huge, obviously, Gears of War fan. And I want to see what it looks like on the Series X. I think that's going to be phenomenal. And then, of course, Gear 6, from what I understand, they should have they're going to have a reveal sometime in 2024 about that, because we haven't heard anything from Gears in basically in quite a few years now. I think Gears of War 5 came out, 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago or something like that. And there's really hasn't been anything. It's just been kind of been stagnant, dormant. It's nothing going on. So hopefully by the new year we can hear something about it. And from what they said so far, up in where the people are in the developing stages of it, they're saying this game's going to be. So far it looks insane. So that's all we got from them. That's all we got from people that's actually kind of seen some of the development of Gear 6 and whatnot, that it just looks insane. So I want to know what that means. What do you mean insane? You know, what's going on here? What's going to happen with the series? And so those were some of the lists that I picked up from when I watched that YouTube episode and everything. Xbox has got a track. They got a path. I mean, they're set for the next couple of years and everything. And if they keep going on with that track, I'm going to look forward to buying more consoles from them. Because right now, I mean, having a Series X and not having so much coming out for it and everything, it's just been, I don't know. That's why I'm a little just upset that they're getting ready to come out with a new PS5. I think they're going to call it, like, I don't know, a Lite or a Pro or something like that. You know, it's like we need more games, people. We need more games. But 2023, I think it's going to be a good year for gamers. I think, especially in the beginning of 2024.
Yeah, and I think part of the gaming is kind of similar to the movie thing. Is new concepts and ideas they're kind of running out of. So let's remaster, remake what we've got, and then go from there. And occasionally you might get a brand new game that actually turns out to be pretty decent. So
I hope, man, you know, because they're already talking about the Marvel movies. People are getting exhausted from them and everything. And, you know, video games, like I've said this before in previous podcasts, I think video games are going to be the next Marvel Cinematic Universe kind of thing.
Yeah, the last 3 Disney movies that dropped lost them like $900 million.
Mm-hmm. So, I saw that.
So,
yeah.
I think you're right. People are kind of getting burned out. I mean, now, granted, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 still draw people in, but the last Ant-Man movie wasn't that great. I haven't seen it yet, but the reviews and what people said from it's not been that good, even the turnout from it. So it's just one of those wait and see.
Yeah.
I think a couple of the IPs on the Marvel side will still draw people in, like Spider-Man and
the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now, I've said this before in the past. I've played Guardians of the Galaxy, the game, and I thought it was better than the movies. But Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is anything but short of a masterpiece, in my opinion. That's my favorite one out of all 3 of the movies. I watched it. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there were some tear-jerking moments there.
Oh yeah. Even my son watched it a couple weeks ago, and I said, "Did you pull at your heartstrings?" He was a little hesitant. I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, it gets to you."
It does, man.
In that movie, there's some pretty emotional scenes.
It is. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's probably been my favorite Marvel movie of this year so far. So I wasn't actually having high expectations for it, to be honest with you. And then everybody's saying they were watching it, saying it was really good, or it's going to pull your heartstrings, or all of the above and everything. So loved it. Great movie. Great movie.
Yep. And another game that you didn't bring up, but was announced about a week and a half ago, was the return of NCAA college football games. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to that. So I think they're saying August of 2024 is when that's supposed to release. So,
well, I was kind of expecting you to bring up ones that I didn't check off, such as Forza Motorsport, and because that's exclusive to Xbox right there, and they've been doing pretty good. And then you got what Horizon are they out at now? It's 5, right?
5.
Yeah. So they're
5.
talking about next holiday exclusively for the Series X and S that the Forza Horizon 6 is coming out. So I'm pretty sure you're going to look forward to that too.
If I have an upgraded console by then.
I think you will.
I just don't play enough right now to really. I just haven't been playing enough to really go invest in an upgraded console. I'm just kind of. I'm bored with what's out there, I think is what it is.
Well, I mean, I can
Now,
get that. I can get that.
now Starfield, when it comes out in a little over 2 weeks now. No, it's just the 6th or the 9th.
It's in September. I know that. I just don't. I'm bad with dates, man. You're talking to the wrong guy when it comes to dates. Obviously, I was having trouble today with names, so.
September 6th. So,
Hmm.
pull up the calendar. Just a little over 2 weeks away, about 17 days. So it's coming.
It's coming, man. And honestly, if we're all gonna play, I mean, obviously it's on Xbox. I hope we can get the crew together and start playing it, and just kind of talking about it and see what direction they went and everything. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really good game, and I think it's going to keep me entertained for a long period of time, especially on Game Pass and whatnot. But I think that's pretty much everything else. I mean, I haven't really seen anything else. I think I'm trying to finish up watching The Witcher and everything, which has been kind of hard for me lately. I mean, that's a topic for another discussion. If you follow that series and whatnot, I can kind of see why Henry Cavill is just not wanting to be a part of it no more and everything. But I don't want to leave on a sad note like that. As far as the games go and everything, man, games is going to be there for me. It's going to be there for everybody. It's brought people together. It's brought us together and everything. And I think Starfield's going to be a good segue into it because it's kind of been a while since we all got together and really just kind of. I know we can't play together on it, but it'd be kind of interesting to see everybody's take on it and whatnot, what they think about it. So
yeah,
that's probably going to be the big one.
Oh, speaking of remakes, I sent a thing the other day to our little chat group about the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is outselling the remake.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's where I met some of you guys. Was actually I think was Call of Duty 2.
Yep.
I was just thinking about that. Is that the one where it has that one perk? If somebody kills you, a grenade pops out and kills them or tries to kill them. So, little side story right there. If you don't know about it, we're we used to game a lady named Unliving Diamond, Mandy. And if you happen to watch these, that's you. We used to, her and I used to get in arguments playing games. Like we played Modern Warfare and everything, and I get so pissed off because when I finally found her and we were up against each other and I'd kill her, there goes that grenade. It gets up. I didn't even think about it. It kills me at the end. So she always killed me every time. And that was one of my fondest memories of the games. I can't remember if it was 2 or 3, but I used to call it Mandy's ass grenade,
Yep.
So, every time I got it, it's like, I'm always cursing or something like that. Every time, I finally shot her and killed her, she had that one perk, pissed me the fuck off. But as far as Modern Warfare 2 goes, that was really the game that put a lot of us together too, in some ways. Because I don't play a whole lot of modern Call of Duty games anymore. I kind of got burnt out on it. Me personally, depending on where I was at, I kind of felt like some of the community was pretty toxic and everything. And they just kept pushing them out every year, and I just couldn't keep up with something like that. But I had a lot of good memories with Modern Warfare 2, and I can see why people are going back to it because not everybody's going to buy into the remake or anything like that. Video games are starting to get like Hollywood, they're remaking them or something like that, I mean, at the very least, you could just make a physical content disc and bring the original game back over to it or whatnot. Some people are enjoying the new ones, and that's fine.
They're just updating it to sort of play with these new consoles, and it's just they're thinking it's a money source because people might go out and buy it.
Yeah.
And yeah, some people are buying it, but a lot of people are also realizing too, it's like, why didn't you go buy it? I've got the original right here still. And I seen that Xbox is getting ready to officially shut down the Xbox 360 store.
I saw that too, man. That's an end of an era right there. To be honest with you, some of the best gaming I've experienced on the console has been the Xbox 360 and its library. Like like a plethora of games, I mean, anything you think of, any kind of mood you're in or what kind of story you want to listen to and play. And the games for the most part, for lack of a better word, were complete, you know. When DLC came out and everything, a lot of it was free, you know, or you actually got more bang with your buck with the season pass or something like that, you know. The 360, that was definitely, our Graceland days of gaming. I'm really hoping that, with the newer generations and everything, they can kind of step that up and come out with, original games, something new, something specific for that console. You know what I mean? That's what it should be about, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean that's how we all kind of got to know each other was through multiplayer games and especially Xbox 360. I mean, that's how that Matilda fucker came around was Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah, man. Good story. I mean, we talked about that before in previous podcasts. If you guys are listening, you should go back and listen. It's a pretty funny story. I didn't have much of a filter back in those days. I'm not saying I do now or anything like that, but yeah, that's basically how I met you. It was just Matilda fucker.
We've been gaming for about 15 years.
Yeah, man. I haven't regretted it and looked back since.
Actually, it's been over 15 years because it was the early part of 2008 when I got my 360.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think I remember when we bought our house 15 years ago next month, and I want to say I was playing with I can remember playing at the apartment with you guys.
So. I was playing in my apartment when I met you guys. I'm in a house now and everything, but I did apartment living for like 12 years before I got into this house and everything. So a lot of my Xbox experience has been in that apartment. And I had a little setup and everything. I had a small collection at the time. I couldn't really collect a lot of video games, but my collection of video games came back to me, I'd say about 6-7 years ago. But yeah, I mean, I got a huge library right now. I haven't played all my 360 games, obviously, of what I collect. I usually like to collect what I think I would play. But a lot of them up there I have played and everything. And I've been thinking about breaking out the old 360 to play some of them because not all of them are on the backwards compatibility list,
Right.
Which is really sad too. They probably got more games on that platform than PlayStation does on their own and everything. But it's like, I had a friend of mine the other day wanted to, borrow one of my games and everything and play it on, their Xbox One. And I was like, I don't think that game's on the backwards compatibility list. Sorry, I need to rehydrate with another beer. But yeah, not all of them are on there and everything, and that kind of worries me too because you're saying the 360 platform, the store's getting ready to shut down. What else are they going to shut down with it? I think this was one of the last consoles we got to play where you didn't always require to have an online connection or anything like that.
True.
But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, because Xbox One's when they came out with the always on feature.
Yeah, that's right. And we all remember when the Xbox One came out, when they did a presentation for it, that did not bode well for them about what the capabilities and what it required it to do, and they immediately had to fix that problem. And I think that's kind of hurt them ever since, but I think it's starting to kind of fade out in the ether right there, which obviously I'm not, hurt over or anything. I'm still playing Xbox. I play PlayStation now, but I still play Xbox as well. So I just like having the variety of games at my disposal to play because it just all depends on what mood you're in and everything and what exclusives they are. PlayStation's going to be in it for the long run, no matter how many, how many more IPs or whatever, Xbox purchases, and Sony's got some, I think they still got some more cards to play, they're going to be in it for the long run. They've kind of pioneered some of this stuff for us. So.
Yep. So let's get ready to wrap this up. One more thing I'd like to add is August 23rd through the 27th is Gamescom. It's the world's largest event for computer and video games and Europe's most comprehensive business platform for the games industries. Finally took place again in Cologne in 2022. So it's the European version of E3. It's about the best way. And I think Xbox is actually live streaming it on the 23rd.
Yeah, I believe Sir Bigness brought that up.
Yeah, 10:30 Pacific Daylight Time. So
yeah, we would definitely want to watch that and maybe just kind of talk about our thoughts and everything, and hear about other people's thoughts about it and whatnot. It should be a pretty interesting watch. I'm actually I got that on the calendar.
Might get a couple new reveals.
Yeah, probably right, man. I mean, I guess we could probably say E3 is long gone now. Very.
Yeah. I mean, if they could bring it back, it'd be a different form.
Get no tag right there. All right. I guess that pretty much wraps up what we're talking about today. We just kind of just wanted to talk about what's on our mind and everything. And, you know, like you said, it's been about 3 weeks and stuff, and we love doing this. We love, you know, talking about our opinions on things, especially when it comes to gaming and whatnot. And we'd be very interested in hearing your guys' comments about what you thought about today's topics and whatnot, and especially where you think today's video gaming is going, you know. Appreciate it if you'd like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, wherever it is, you know, there. Other than that, what are you drinking on tonight?
Well, you know, we've done several podcasts and nobody has done it yet. I got the Beers of War initiation shot.
Ooh, we got a little Irish breakfast there. Okay. I went out and I found this at one of the local grocery stores, and they had a mixture of these beers that I'd never even heard of or anything, but I found this one hiding in the back. So it was the last one while there was others that were just still hadn't been purchased. And it's got 7.2% alcohol by volume. Again, I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, but I was very interested just solely based off of the name, and that is called Arrogant Bastard Ale. So figured I'd give that a shot and see what that's like.
What kind of beer is it?
This one, well, let's say it's ale. It's a pretty powerful one. I don't know what it's. They don't have anything of what they compare to, so that's why I'm going to taste it and see what I would compare it to. I imagine it's probably something of a lager or whatnot. Let's find out.
So,
well, again, boys. Oh man, yeah, that looks stout. It looks pretty stout. Yeah. Like I said, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell. We look forward to doing more podcasts with you. I'm Beer Ninja.
I'm Matilda82.
And if you drink,
may
you drink with me.